Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how we can use artboards to create multiple pages within the one Adobe Illustrator document to allow us to make larger, more complicated files that encompass our entire project so that we don't have to use multiple files to do the same thing. Now, if you are making a more professional or more advanced version of a magazine or a book, keep an eye out for the Adobe InDesign tutorials that I'll be doing that show you how to do such a thing. But if you want to do it in Adobe Illustrator, here's how we do it. So here's my first page, and right now everything's on one layer. What I'd be advising is starting to make folders or groups, or at the very least each page has its own layer, or maybe you're organizing on one layer all of your page backgrounds, just working on your organization of your content. Because let's say you're making a kid's storybook that has a dozen pages, you're going to end up with a lot of content. Okay, so just be aware of that. So to make our extra pages, we're going to use Artboards. So go Window, Artboards. There's no shortcut for this, unfortunately. And this brings up our Artboards page. Right now we only have one. But if we go plus or new artboard down the bottom of that tab, we can actually make as many artboards as you want. Now if I zoom out, you can see it's just done that horizontally. And it's also just done that in such a way where we've got just a standard default spacing between the pages. And I'm going to show you how we can fix that. Because the first issue you might face is creating your content where it goes off the edge of the page. You don't want it encroaching onto the one that's next to it. Now you might go, you know what, that actually works really well because I can do half and half, but I'd be advising don't do that. Let's just make a duplicate, and what we'll do is we'll increase the space between those pages. Now down in the bottom left, we can go rearrange all artboards. By rearranging the artboards, what it's going to do is we can, instead of having this linear straight line of pages going from left to right, we can actually start organizing it into columns. So you can see the default layout is going to be this zigzag where you have rows and columns, and we're going to leave it, I'm going to put it down to 2 rows, so I'm going to have pairs of pages going down the page. Okay, so if we go OK, what that will do would be to rearrange those 7 artboards that are in a straight line to be 3.5 rows. The other thing I want to do is increase this spacing. So I can just manually type in a number, and I could go 30, and if I go mm, it's going to make it 30 millimeters apart. And if I go OK, you can see what it's done is it's spaced out those objects 30 millimeters apart, as well as aligned it so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's zigzagging down the page. So if you're doing pairs of pages where you open a book and you've got your 2 pages, then that's a really useful thing to do. But at the very least, you're organizing and most importantly, spacing out this gap so you don't overlap. Now you've noticed that these assets that were to the left of my document kind of got shifted around, and that's because they were off in this gray area, and they weren't attached to an artboard insofar as they were on top of the artboard. So I'm just going to have to make sure I'm just going to move them out of the way, and I can use those assets later. So using the artboards, you're naming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure you select the artboard you're using, and you can see it actually highlights and selects so that when you draw on that artboard, it will actually lock to that object. And I think we can even click on the artboard, this box here, and it will make it full screen so that you can see which artboard you're working in. Okay, so thanks for watching and tune in next time.